Good morning, you join me at the garage, Bridgend Garage, Dumfries. The car's in for its MOT, and a wee Muhammad Ali prediction. I think it'll pass, which is really quite impressive. I'll just give a wee shout out to my brother, virtue signalling. Look, I've got such a great relationship with my brother, even though I didn't. No, I did and I didn't. I'm not getting into it, it's the power of forgiveness, You know what I mean? Just forgive them because they know not what they do. They don't know who they're fucking with, do they? So just let them away with it. I'll let that one go. He said to me, right, he goes, I just bigged up my brother and then slagged him off in the same fucking intro, Because basically what happened was he said he did something. He kens he fucked up, Ken. Not in a big way, but well, maybe in a big way, for my standards, you're in the fucking same team, bro, blood brother, Ken. But he said, no, I regret doing ... I don't know why he kind of put him in the suit, but it's all good, Ken. Look at the Gallagher's, right? They slagged each other off publicly, fought publicly, right? So this is fuck all, it's just 20 friends. He's didn't care him, and even if he did, we'd probably laugh at it. I'd probably laugh at him, my brother. Oh, by the way, I slagged you off in a good way, but also big up. So, it's all fun, Ken, because what about my pain? What about my fucking, I need to get off my chest, don't I? So, but I think him saying, oh, I regret doing that, because I phoned him up, said, Richard, can we talk about this wee thing, I went into it and said what was on my mind. Wasn't really impressed by this, and insert 10,000 words or whatever it was, when I could have inserted 500,000 words, but so I let him off easy, in a way, because like I said to him before, I've fucked up sometimes and I've always apologised. Sorry, Rich, genuinely sorry. I've apologised, so why can't he do the same thing, Ken? What goes around comes around. You should be able to say sorry to somebody if first, to quote my mother, respect is the first thing, innit? Is the most important thing with anything. If there's no respect, if there ain't no love, then there ain't no use. Gonna walk on by, gonna walk on through. Nothing in the world that I can do. Respect. Respect is the most important thing. So respect, you can do anything. Once you got respect from folk, it's a two-way thing, innit? Once you got respect you can do anything. Doesn't have to be the perfect relationship in the world, but as long as there's mutual respect, however the form that takes. Anyway, getting back to the point, what was the point? I think part of him apologising to me was the fixing the car. So I'll give him that. Plus he was nice to me. Well, there you go. It's quite funny. He never actually said, Dave, I'm really sorry for but what he's done is, he said, I regret doing Then he made me curry. He made extra. I think he did that. He made extra curry. I finished. He made enough for me. When I finished work, went in to get paid, and he had a curry right. And you want some curry, Dave? And then he fixed the car for me. He was straight onto it. He was trying to. So he has apologised without actually saying the words, because love language, #love language. Doc Snipes. I'm the opposite. See, this is what we get. We've got to get to the point as human beings in this society, right? To quote Doc Snipes, you've got your love languages, haven't you? I express my love in a different way to someone else. And I appreciate my love language. What I want from people isn't the way that they like receiving love. So then when I expect an apology and they didn't give me it, I feel like they're saying fuck you. But actually, if they show it by making you a curry and fixing your car and then saying I regret doing this, you go, well, I suppose that's equivalent to an apology, isn't it? But anyway, back to the point. What is the point? I was thinking today, right, about this is quite a historic occasion. I'm really celebrating and basking in the glory. I have created the best podcast in Dumfries ever. Just let that simmer. It's not to do with views, is it? I'm the only person, unless you can point me to someone else who's been doing this shit, And what I do is on my Strava, I put little clips, wee bits from here and there, wee gold moments from here and there, and they're feeling it, but they're too lazy to watch the full thing. Not that I've really promoted the stuff that much, but I'll be dead. I'll be like, Jinx should fake my death to get my YouTube channel popular. You know what I mean? I'll be dead before any of my stuff gets seen. But as I was talking to somebody last night, it's got to be cohesive and focused, and I've got to harness the the shit that I've been doing. You can't just be, you know what I mean? You got to actually, I'm lazy. I just blab, don't I? And it's sort of like what I'm doing now is kind of like spitballing in a sense, but there is a structure to it as well. There is a point to it as well. It's not just like it's all random horse shit. They're just wee pieces, aren't they? And they're some of them have been quite no rough and ready. They've been actually quite polished. Because as I said before, I'm, you know, you do it all the time, you get better, don't you? You just get. But so, what do you want to do, Dave? Do you want to be a good YouTuber? Do you want to do? What is the point of it all? You know, who cares? You get to the point you can't. Who cares? It's good getting this off my chest. But anyway, back to the best podcast in the history of Dumfries that I've created. Right, me, I did that. Yes. I was thinking. Right, am I the Jimmy White of cycling? Remember they were saying like Jimmy White didn't win as many things as he should have done because he was like taking cocaine. I've not been like up for 4 nights and gambling and all that, but you know what I mean. He wasn't super focused like Hendry and Davis and all. He was like more kind of rough and ready, and he would have his moments of brilliance, right, where he would shine, but it wasn't consistent. It was like hear him, scare him kind of thing. So he didn't. And that's the whole old question, innit? Oh, if I had behaved myself, would I have done more? You can, well, maybe not, because that's what made Jimmy Jimmy. You know, the fact that he was doing things his way, and maybe that was the best way for him to do best. So you know, it's fascinating that, you know, that whole thing. Would he have done better? Probably not. He's just being who he is. Maybe that's me. I'm like the Jimmy White. I've got the flair, and I've got the. You know, I can do some pretty cool things, but I don't know consistently. I'm not like a boring Stephen Hendry that wins 7 titles in 1 decade or whatever, you know. So, because I like to roam around, I like to experiment and discover. I kind of know what works. Look, I've done the discipline thing as well. Let's not forget that. So I'm not only Jimmy White of snooker, but I am kind of like the Stephen Hendry of cycling as well. Because remember lockdown, I was like disciplined every day. I think it's just like coming out of that. Life gets in the way and you go, right, I've got a job, it's a bit different here, I can't just be this maniac the whole time. Discipline, you know, that would be the ideal, wouldn't it? If you didn't have a job and you could make that your job like I did in lockdown, then I would turn into the Stephen Hendry while still having the flair and the kind of, you know, no saying Stephen Hendry didn't have the flair, but it was more the just kind of ridiculous work ethic and did it. But anyway, that's quite interesting, you know, to like, it's not really the way athletes should prepare, but everything in moderation, including moderation, like a big bar of chocolate, packet of crisps, and a couple of rum and cokes and a joint, you know. But I'm not, as long as I'm not doing that every weekend and every night, it's fine, that, you know what I mean? It's like when I smoked the whole fucking 20 cigarettes, whole pack of fags, and then bounce back like a pro, because I didn't even bounce back, like I said before, I'm already there. So 20 fags is fuck all. Isn't that quite mind-blowing? It just goes to show. Like, it's crazy, the kind of, it's a feeling that you have in your body, isn't it? And I'm going, I needed that rest. So I was taking time out, looking at this from a wider perspective. My relatively speaking long layoff there, 2 weeks. It was actually 2 of doing 0, but it was 4 weeks really of hard training layoff. When you look at the context of that, let's not lose the train of thought. When you look at the context of that and the wider perspective, you go, maybe I needed that. As I said, maybe I needed that time out. You know, it's not a bad thing. Like working your ass off for 6 years and then you go, oh, fucking hell. I don't know what to turn into this, like, looking like a war veteran with PTSD with a blank stare on my face and, like, no sense of humour and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, taking time out is probably necessary. So, moving forward, do we keep the Jimmy White thing? You know, just be disciplined, but yet have fun, and yet, you know, just so I'm turning up fresh. It's an interesting thing, that, isn't it? And incidentally, when I was growing up, I thought that Jimmy White looked like Christopher Reeve, didn't he? And Christopher Reeve was like one of my big, you know, in that Superman film, the scene when he punches the guy in the bar. I've been working out, he's because the guy had bullied him as Clark Kent. He comes back as Superman and kicks his ass. I loved that. That was up there with some scenes in Commando, wasn't it? But anyway, Christopher. So Christopher Reeve just he was godlike, wasn't he? And Jimmy White, right? I thought Jimmy White looked like Christopher Reeve. I thought Jimmy White was Christopher Reeve. So I thought Jimmy White is basically Superman. Jimmy White is God. And then you look at the evidence, right? Jimmy White's dad apparently was a carpenter. You get what I mean? Like, so Jimmy White is Jesus. But anyway, insert your favourite. Write down below who your favourite Jesus is. Is it David Icke? Is it Christopher Reeve? Eric Clapton? Elvis? Jimmy White? Graham O'Brien? Tommy Emmanuel? Frank Zappa? Insert your favourite Jesus below, okay? And if I emulate some of these figures, then that's not a bad position to continue on from, is it? You know, just that kind of unflinching. What's the word? Just the we want to be good, don't we? We want to be pure, don't we? As what's his name said in Basketball Diaries, you know, I just want to be pure, man. Yeah. So if we try for that, we might fail. I was watching the video last night. This is just random. I watched the video last night, and someone was talking about when the devil's coming at you, you know, like folk that are just fucking wicked and cruel and that have abused you and disrespected you, right? It is a battle, you know. No, obviously I'm the good person and they're the villain, right? When you're coming up against them, right? He was saying, hold your peace, didn't react. That's a skill in of itself. But what I was thinking, you know, didn't say anything, didn't? Because your tongue, I could say shitloads of things, you know, and put someone in their place and give them a fright of their lives if they can't what I was capable of doing. But revenge, didn't want to end up being the abuser, do you? That's the thing. So I think the bigger person would be hold your peace, just look at them, say nothing. There is strength in that, isn't there? Yeah, nah, I've already practiced that plenty of times, saying fuck all and letting the fucking Satan continue his quest to try and pull down humanity in these last and evil days, you know. So we're the good people. Here's another little thought. I was thinking, walking around Dumfries, I'm going, you know what, Dumfries is actually not a bad place, because it's kind of like that thing where it's, as Hugh McMillan said, it's too big to be too small to be, you know, it's a bit in between. So because everyone sees each other, this is the theory, and I actually do think there is something in this. People learn how to kind of respect each other, but then you kind of go, well, is it just stifling those? Is it just like bottled? All those feelings are bottled up. You know, the feeling of, you know, envy, jealousy, hatred. Is it all just under the surface? I think sometimes you can feel the love when you're walking around, and you go, you know, I think it behooves us to. It's got a kind of quite a good vibe to it, better than some other places, or who cares, maybe it is shit, you know, but you know, you look in the positives anyway, right?